Hello and welcome back. My name is Jeremy, and last week we kind of touched base on CSS and what it is, kind of, and how you go about using it. Not really, but I'll give a quick example on how to style up an H3 with a certain font and a paragraph tag with a certain color and font as well. Well, I'm going to detour from that for a quick moment or so, and we're going to cover a couple other elements that I kind of forgot to bring up in my other tutorials, and one was the image tag. And the image tag allows us to import a picture for either from a different source, be it another website or a image hosting site, or all the way to having it on our own local or excuse me, in our own hierarchy. So what I mean is I have this folder and it's called index, and inside here I have a picture called birds. And believe it or not, it's a picture of a bird. So let's go ahead and let's start delving into the tag itself. The tag is a standalone tag, which means it's a single tag. So you start off with img, short for image. Okay. Next we have to give it a source. Okay. Now where is this located at? Now, like I said, this could either be a URL or it could be a file name. Well, since I already have it in the directory where this index HTML file is, like here and here, I can just give it the name birds. But you also need to know what kind of extension is it. Is it a JPEG, a GIF, or whatever? And you can right click, go to properties, and it's a .jpeg. Okay. So we'll type in birds, birds.jpg. And to finish this off, we got to put a slash there. And we'll save this. We'll come here and we'll refresh the page. Hey, look, we got birds. Well, that's pretty cool. So what else can we do with this? Image has a few different attributes that we can use as well too. We can actually move this somewhere else. So say like we don't want it here. Say like we want it on the other side of the page, way over there. So we could say align equals, I believe it's right. We'll save this, refresh this page, and there it is. Another attribute is we can actually, even though, here, let me just go back to the file. We will right click, go to properties. It tells us, where's it at? Details, sorry. That the picture is 315 by 160. I can actually change this size to make it bigger or smaller by the width and height attribute. So we'll go here. Let's do the center instead. So center, and we'll say we want the height. We want it bigger or smaller. The height was what, 160, right? I think it was 160. Let's check it again real quick. It is 160. So let's shrink it by half. Let's make it smaller. So we'll say 80. And the width was, that doesn't help that I close that out. In half of 315, 150, 160. Well, let's say 155. It's good enough for me. 155. Okay, we'll save this and we'll hit refresh. Oops, center didn't work for some reason. Oh, it's middle, not center. Oh, what am I thinking? MIDDLE, middle. Align equal. We'll get rid of that. I'll worry about that later. Okay, so no, we've changed the height. Actually, the height and the width of it. Let's just put it over there for right now. We can even. What's really important, is that we should have an alt tag on it, and this helps Google and other search engines kind of know what the picture is about, because they really don't know. They might be able to look at the file name, but sometimes the file name can just be picture, and that doesn't help much. So we do alt. also short for the alternative. We'll say how many were there? 3, I think. 3 pretty birds. Save. Now, granted, it doesn't show here, but in some browsers, you can actually hover over the picture and it'll actually bring up the alt text for it as well, which helps out. What else is there? Oh yeah, there is the border, which is pretty nice. I like using borders around pictures if they don't have a white background. So like if this was all white, I probably wouldn't use a border, but since this is a darker color, I would probably add border to it. Border equals, and this goes, I think we just do 1 pixel. Save. There you go. Now you really can't see it, but it does kind of pop out just a little bit. I'm sure maybe if you zoomed in, you might be able to see it a little bit better. The nice thing about this is order doesn't really matter. I could switch all this up. I could say I want border to be, we'll cut that out, put border first, and put my width second. I don't know why I would, but you know, order doesn't matter. I can refresh, and it still is fine. I've tried it a couple times. It doesn't matter at all. So that's one interesting. One thing I wanted to bring up before, I just kind of forgot to cover. So that's importing a web image into your page itself. Most of the images that you're going to want to work with, and you can work with more if you want to, but you know, stay with GIFs or JPEG or JPGs. The nice thing about GIFs, they're usually compressed into small files. They usually contain no more than 256 colors. They're not the best photos, but they're pretty nice for like logos, icons, and stuff like that. Oh, of course they can be animated too, which could be pretty interesting. Now the JPGs are usually larger files, excuse me, and can contain up to millions of different colors, which make it really good for pictures like this. You can see a lot of color into it. Before I cut this loose, so it was what, 3? We'll double that. So we'll say 700. That was 160. So 320. Just so you can see a little bit better the colors in it. Let's see. I think that's really about it for the images. Let's see, we covered the source. Like I said, this could be either the picture name itself or a URL. A border. Like I said, I like to use borders if it's a colored picture. If it has a white background, it usually doesn't because it just kind of blends into a white page itself. The width and height attributes, how you can align it, and the alt text. If you don't do any of these right here, I highly recommend always putting in alt text for all your pictures. Like I said, it helps. Like I said, search engines out. It helps out the scene impaired. If they come across a picture but they can't really make it out, usually the screen reader will see that alt text and will read it to them, which helps out a lot as well. If you have any questions about this, so I think this is pretty simple and straightforward, but go ahead and email me, leave a comment, subscribe, like, dislike, do what you got to do. Make sure you follow me on my Twitter page and my website. You guys are the best. I appreciate you. Next time we're gonna dive into tables, and then hopefully we'll be getting back into the CSS stuff. Okay, all right. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.